good for everyone, and so much so that the guy who is normally considered the guy who created the models of categorical models of linear logic, Robert Seeley, actually we went to a conference in Boulder, Colorado, and in the drinks before the conference started, he said to me, also, what you're doing with Martin Hyland? And I said, oh, I kind of have this thing which happens. I mean, it's an interesting thing because it officially comes from Gödel, but I don't understand anything about that. But, kind of algebraically, just this and that. And Martin says it's connected to linear logic and stuff. And he said, oh, you didn't do that. I said, yes, I did. No, you didn't do that. Yes, I did. I'll show you. I had the handwritten thing. And not being very... I was very trusty because I just gave him which was the beginning of my thesis, right? And he said, next day I have a slot on the conference. I think you should talk instead of me. What I have is not as interesting as what you have. And so I gave my first talk. And I was told the day I gave the talk next day, as I was saying to you, my English is not that good. And so I kind of gave the talk and some people in the category theory community at that stage were extremely vicious, don't waste our time with things that are too trivial. So I was panicking. I spent the whole night kind of thinking about it and stuff. And the next morning, I gave the talk. I'm sure that Peter Fried was making a joke about dialectica being something to do with Hegel or kind of Marxism or something. I'm sure I don't know what the joke was, but I carried on kind of, okay. I explained, no, it's just the name of the journal, nothing to do with Marxism. And carried on.